Thank you. So hi, everybody. Thank you for coming the today's drafters meeting. So we kind of mentioned at the today's daily huddle. Actually, the classroom training schedule said dimensions as today's class topic, but we have changed to introducing new and detailed catalog class. So if you are here with the expectation of the dimension, feel free to leave. If you'd like to stay, you are more than welcome. That class, the dimension class, is actually moved to October 8th, so 2 weeks later. Okay, let's start. So on the chat link.
Sorry, real quick, Yuriko, the Jamboard is to view only, just to let you know.
Oh, really?
Unless others have.
Okay, let me see, because right now, sorry, it's in Japanese.
No worries. Good thing I know Japanese.
That's center.
That's all people who have link. Oh, sorry. Okay, should be okay now. How about that? Can you guys actually try to put the like a sticky notes or something? Oh yeah.
Yep, it works.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to use this Jamboard. So the link is under the chat. So feel free to use. Feel free to add your question, idea, any input, or any feedback, suggestions on this Jamboard during the class. Okay, so I do have a few questions at the beginning of this class. Can you just guess how many standard embed we do have now? Just glass, not this for precast or interiors or construction specialties, just only for quarters of glass. 55, 10, 30. Okay, let's move the numbers. 26. That's it. Still, I don't have any correct answers. All right, the correct one is actually we have 74. So 2 hit embed, 47 to do embed, and 25 to embed over rail. So we have 74 total as of today, and this number is keep growing. So no, I'm close even. All right, then next question. That one is also guess. How many embed details in sheet I have drawn last 12 months? 74. A good number. 80, 60. The hint is, as the main drafter, I have had full project. A lot. I love it. So in sheet, so not the details number. So sometimes I do have multiple details on one sheet. Okay. Who gave 80?
Me.
Ooh, you are the closest one. I actually made 88 detailed sheets on full project last 12 months. I don't know. Yeah, 88. Only details, not for the enlarged plan or plans, elevations. Just the embed detail sheet. I have created 88 for full project. So 22 average. I don't know if this is the high number or low number or average, but that's what I had last 12 months. So out of 88 sheets, can you guys also guess how many new embed I had? New one, only new one.
20.
I had actually 6 only. So the rest of embed are all standard. So with those numbers, I calculated. It's not the simple math. I probably had multiple details on one for the one single embed or vice versa. But with those numbers, about 7% is only for the new embed details. and less of 93% is for just the standard. So we are spending a lot of time, like almost 90% of my drafting time for just the standard one. We already exist. We have it already. And I'm keep recreating the same detail over and over every single project, right? So that's the reason why that pushes me, that encourages me to create the Embed detail catalog, because that can minimize the bunch of drafting time and probably mistake and also make your life much easier. So that's the reason why. Okay. So thank you for the guessing. Okay, let's do the standard Embed detail catalog. So as you may know, we do have wiki page for the embed. So that's all our standard embed. So as I said, to Hilti, 47 steel plate embed for Windows system, and also 25 steel tube embed for guardrails. So 74 is the total. And then if you have any new embed, this is a place you guys go to first. Make sure you have it already. If you don't, then there's another process. We have to create a new one. Okay, but I'm going to cover the new embed process later. But let's do the embed catalog first. Any questions so far? You guys okay? All right. So where the file locates? It's simple. Under S drive, it doesn't matter you are Fremont or Levern or Las Vegas or Seattle. S drive, and under the S drive we have Revit WW detail library, and detail catalog file for the embed is www-embed-detail catalog-center Revit file. This is a little snip. As you see, we also have unitary detail catalog as well. So always the detail catalog file is under this folder. So make you guys easy. Okay, so let's open detail catalog. This is the actual embed detail catalog file. And then each sheet are named with the embed numbers. So let's say if you need FE11, this is the FE11 sheet, and it has top view and side view. If you go to the FE21, our standard tube embed, that one also has top view of FE21, side view of FE21, and also section view of FE21. And also, if you look at inside the view, the all embed component is created as the detail group. So it's easy to reuse if you have to create new details or any modified conditions or any job specific conditions. You don't have to draw the line, or you don't have to create the hatch. Just grab that one, because that one is already made as the group, and then paste it to the new sheet or paste it to the new drafting view. So try to make you guys easy as much as I can. And then the reason why I didn't make those components as the family, because sometimes you'd like to modify the notes or detail conditions, not the embed, but any annotations, dimensions, perimeter condition is different, probably sub condition is different. So you'd like to have more freedom to modify that detail, not the embed. So that's the reason why I didn't make as a family. So you guys can trim it sometimes because of the space. If you run out of space, you like to trim the huge long river to show the details. So that's the reason why. Okay, let me show you how to insert. So this is sample sample project file. Let's say your project files. So under the embeds package, right now I only have 2 sheets. That's the default setup when you open the standard one. Cover page, which is this one, and also 400A EOS blockouts. That one is applied to both Qt embed, Hack T50 and Hack T70. And then if you don't have this condition, if you don't have any Qt embed on your project, you can remove, because you don't have to show it. But if you need it, that's the one you always have to have with your Qt embed details. Okay, so let's insert the view from the file. Same as the detail file, go to Insert tab, Insert from File, Insert Views from File. So then, yeah, let's go to the S drive, ACAD drive. Under the ACAD S drive, you have Revit Detail Library folder. Under here, you have Embed Detail Catalog file. Select and hit open. And then usually it takes 10 to 50 seconds. It depends on your VPN condition. And also the catalog file is created as 2017 Revit file. So if your project file is like a 2020 or 2021 or higher than 2017, it takes more time to convert the version. But usually it takes like maybe 15 to 1 minute. Okay, now let's show all sheets only. As you see, with the all thumbnail preview, we have all sheets inside the detail catalog. So just pick whatever you need. Let's say to my project, I need FE21 regular standard tube embed, and then I also need Hack T50, which is FE109. Let's say I do have guardrail, so I need the FE-RL-01006. So just select whatever you need and hit OK. You may got this one, just hit OK. So then now all the sheet is actually placed as 4004 standard embed details right here. But we like to move those to the embed. So just grab all of them and then go to our sheet set embed. So now those sheets are under embed package. The next things you have to do is just select the sheet, change the number to whatever you'd like to have. So for 451. So then now your sheet 451. Do the same thing on others. And then the advantage of Revit is if you have linked details, that number will be updated also. So whatever the number you assign to the sheet, the linked detail is also updated. So let's say that one is originally FE109, but now I'd like to change to 452. Detail is also updated. So you have linked detail, which shows the section views. And then you can do the same thing, 4.53. So the links also updated. So technically, that's the first things you have to do. And then in a detail, probably you guys noticed, sometimes you see kind of brownish color notes. So that's the drafter notes. So the embed detail shows kind of typical conditions. Let's say this one, I only have 5-inch curve width, but your project probably 7-inch or 6-inch or different size of the curve. So that's the thing drafter has to change for the project conditions. Those areas, I always put the notes, drafter note, hey, you guys have to change this one to meet your conditions or part of your project conditions. So if you see any brown color notes, that's the warning, hey, you may have to change something. So probably after the copying the old stuff, I'm done. No, you're not done. So make sure your detail matches your project conditions. After you check if that condition is okay, you can delete it. So then move to another one. Same here, the probably curve condition is different. If you check, that's fine, and then delete it, and then done. If you don't see any drafter's notes, that means you fixed it all. Then they move the next project or next stuff. So any stuff you guys have to be aware of, you have a drafter notes. And then if you like to keep those notes for maybe coordinations or any purpose, this one is actually non-plot text. So it's shown on the details, but it won't be plotted when you use the short plot, like construction layer in CAD. So you can use this one for like communication to the other drafters also, or like any stuff you are still coordinating with GC or architect, just use this one. That one is www non-plot text. You can copy that guy, or you can also go to annotate symbol and then you can insert. So when you hit, then there's a pop-up menu. You can type up whatever you want and just hit OK and it stay there. Yeah. All right. Till here, do you guys have any questions, suggestions, or maybe some of you guys already used this and any issues you have experienced? I know Michelle used.
Yeah, I had a question for the Mac clips because that's something I saw that it was new when I used it. And I know I was, before when we did the Edges Lab, we didn't use the Mac clips. So it created a lot of work for me because I had the same conditions, just different Mac clips. So I was wondering, when did we incorporate the Mac clips?
Mac clips. You mean in the detail?
Yeah, in the Edges Lab details.
Yeah. Sorry, could you rephrase it again? I'm sorry.
So for the new details here, I believe for the old way that we used to do it, we didn't incorporate the exact number of that Mac clip. And I think now on that note for the Mac clip, we need to specify specifically what Mac clip it is.
Oh, okay, I know what you're saying. So let's say this one, we have Mac 11 shown. And then let's say if you have Mac 12 or 13, that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that case, I would recreate, I would duplicate this sheet and then change the Mac clip, wherever the requirement. Because without the details, the field team can tell. Even your enlarged elevation, enlarged plan have key. It says FE12 or FE13 or whatever the number is, but we still need to provide the details.
I think that's what the question is, because we didn't used to in our old standards, and we didn't show all the unique Mac clips in the embed set. They would just be shown on the, called out on the plan or shown in the shop drawings.
Was it old process, James? Because I think that's noted on the shop drawing.
Yeah, I don't recall. I have to kind of look back at it, but I mean, I could see if we do have like a variety of different Mac clips, but with like the same embed. I mean, I could see kind of like the embed details like kind of increasing exponentially in our set. But I'd have to kind of go back to see what we have written down there.
I mean, if you look at the old CAD details, none of them had the Mac clip in.
Yeah, that's one thing I had to do, like repetitive details because I was using these details, so I had to specify my Mac clips. When before we just used the embed condition without the Mac clip, and we would be able to use it for various parts of the project. And then now that we have the Mac clips, we need to create more details.
Okay, so what I'm not sure this is answering to your questions or not, but the name of the embed package or the Edge of Slab embed package sometimes create the people misunderstand. We only have to show Edge of Slab and also embed. But the Mac clip or any steel component, like sometimes we have steel shelf, that's the also field use, and then those information needs to be included within embed package as well.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
On Santana West,
Yes.
We dimensioned them on the floor plans, but didn't add them to the details. So they're noted and they're dimensioned, but if that allowed us to just use the one detail, otherwise we would have had, like James was saying, it would have been a lot more details.
More details.
Yeah.
Call out each different location relative to the embed and F clips and all that. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just looking through the standards. The model, I mean, since we model the mat clips, we call out on like the layout plan, the mat clip mark number, but I didn't see anything regarding like the details and having like mat clips called out and shown in the details.
Okay, should we discuss with field team probably? Because that's the main customers. But they
I mean, we can certainly explore this.
Yes, because me as a drafter, I totally agree with what Jessica and Michelle said. If we, or Mike said, if we don't have to provide any additional detail just because of the mat clip number change or the type change, that minimize our work more easy. If the enlarged floor plan with the key number is enough for them. I love it,
I think the only time where maybe a detail with showing the mat clip would suffice is in some cases, you know, where the mat clip isn't, you know, aligning exactly with the embed. Sometimes when we have at corners where some embeds are so crammed close together, and then we've got pony tubes in there, and they're slightly offset. That's probably the time that, you know, we might be showing mat clips. That way we can kind of see where that dim point is really going to in that detail.
Okay, is that okay if I do the assigned research with field team also? What exactly they need, and then we can. I definitely come back to you guys. Would you mind to give me a few days or a few weeks to answer to that question?
Kim, do you mind if I jump in there, because the problem with the field team is there's 6 different people, and you'll get 6 different answers.
Yes.
And depending on which answer you really want, you got to be careful about how you ask the question even. So why don't I get one for you? Because the way I see this is, you know, it's the opposite of the shop drawing. So in our shop drawings, we don't show all the different embeds. We just, you know, but we do show the mat clips.
Yes.
And in our embed drawings, we need to show all the different embeds, but we don't need to show all the different mat clips. Like, you know, it's not necessary to have it all duplicated everywhere, right? So I think this one is better if I go to Bobby and walk him through it, and Bobby gets with his team and does that way, because again, Mike Bruno is gonna have a different opinion than TJ and Tim, and you know, like it'll get weird on me really fast. And then it'll be like, well, Mike wants it this way, TJ says it's that way, Bobby wants, you know, so let me, if you send me a little sample of what you want to do, because I would picture this detail, this is the embed drawing, that mat clip says, you know, mat clip, see schedule on floor plan, you know what I mean? It like, and just the way your embeds say, embed, see embed plan, right? Like both those things, you know, you're not showing every embed in the shop drawings, and you're not showing every mat clip in the embed drawings. I like that it shows them, and like James said, like the odd conditions do need to be shown, but I don't think you have to detail every single mat clip embed combination possible, because you could end up with 50 sheets of details that nobody really needs, right?
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. What I heard from field team is when they install the embed, you know, usually GC installed, and then they only look at the embed drawing, not the shop drawing. Then also when they
so in Southern California, it's more common for the GC to install the embeds. In Northern California, it's more common that we install the embeds.
Okay, it depends.
But the opposite happens in both places too. But I would say the majority of jobs in LA, the GC installs the embeds and just looks at the embed plan. But again, they won't be putting the mat clips on at all.
Right.
So the mat clip would be superfluous to that process, right? But in Northern California, you know, we definitely typically install the embeds, because like DevCon likes us to do that, Level 10 likes us to do that. There's a few GCs that don't. So, you know, but again, typically we're not putting that embed on until after the concrete is poured, because we don't know the deck level.
Yes.
So I don't think they're going back with it, you know, like they would use that embed plan with the telling them which mat clip to put where.
Yes.
You know, and then like James said, any odd condition that isn't centered would have to be called out specifically so they don't miss that.
With that in mind, can I share my screen for an example?
Oh, sure, yeah, of course. That would be nice.
Santana West.
Yeah, because you have a port in place building, right, Mike?
This is PT slabs.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, is that port in place?
Yes.
Okay. So at the middle conditions here, the mat clip is not centered on the embed because everything is so close here.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was the outer dimension string is for the mat clips.
Mm-hmm.
The inner dimension string is for the embeds.
Yes.
The embeds are on the inside, the mat clips are on the outside. And we've got the notes there, mat clip dim and embed dim. But then as far as the details go, it was just one generic detail for the whole project, just showing the embed.
Without the macro.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, again, the communication's the piece here, right? Like, how are we telling them what to do, right? Like, are we just giving them the drawing, or have we specifically, you know, I mean, I think you have Travis on this building, and Travis is probably going to convey that to the field guy, but just making sure we have that conversation with the field superintendent, because, you know, 90% of what we do is all centered, and somebody could just start rolling out there without really thinking about it. Because again, the guy, you know, your PM and the superintendent will not be installing these mat clips.
Yes.
So just making sure that we have, you know, some direct line of communication. The guy's going to put them in, but hey, this is the way I laid it out. This is what I need you to do. Like, if they know, they'll be good, but we just, sometimes we go on autopilot a little bit too much too. So.
Okay, let me send you like some samples and also our questions. Then if you can distribute whoever needs to be. Because
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking send it to Bob Vaughn and Mike Bruno, but if you like to avoid Mike Bruno, that's fine. If you have no better persons, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, and so typically what I do, just so you know, is I try to go through Bobby and have Bobby deal with Mike, TJ, and all the guys, right? Because Bob can at least be the one voice to me.
Mm-hmm.
We talked it over, some of the guys wanted this, some of that, but we're gonna do this, right?
Yes.
I kind of need one voice for the field. Just, you know, it makes it easier, right?
Yeah, and that makes our work life easy too, if we can avoid those.
Yeah.
Great. All right, that's a great question. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. All right, so that's how we use the, and then any other questions? Okay, let me share my screen. Then I also like to go over what we should do when you have the new embed. Let's bring up to the PowerPoint what we showed at the Zoom site meeting. So based on my knowledge or my experience, when I look at the profile drawing, sometimes profile drawing has really good information of embed, sometimes we don't, especially to embed. I see they are called out as FE21, but the picture is not FE21. So then when I double check with fabrication Jumpstart team, the picture was right or the call out right. So vice versa. So that's the things we always just be aware. Don't trust 100% what they show in the shop drawing or profile package, because you may have to, you be the one, you may have to change the stuff later or chase in the information later. So I always try to note on the profile package review if you see any conflict, and then if you have any unclear information in the profile package as well, I try to get the information sooner would be better. So then you don't have to recreate the details. Okay. So then just in case you have to have new embed, usually that happens after engineering calculations, because engineers like to use a different size or different lengths of the embed. What we're supposed to do is back to that wiki page, make sure you already have or not. If you couldn't find any embeds, what I usually do is try to find the like a closest one and then double check with PM if the existing one can use. Because you know your shop drawing probably you only have 2-3 embeds, but the engineer doesn't know what kind of standard detail we have already. So if you have a closest one, that's the one I always do with the PM. If PM is okay, then he will send or she will send the question to the architect. I'm sorry, not architect, AWS or Larson Engineering to get the confirmation. If they say no, we need a new embed, then that's the process. So we confirmed we needed the new embed. That's the first one. And then review entire building to ensure that you have all embed you are going to need for the project. You may find out that you are going to need multiple new embeds. So if multiple new embeds are needed, see if you can consider it to make any single embed work. So make sure, try to get the all information once. Then create the outline of new embed and layout out to ensure there's no conflict. What I usually do is I just create the rectangle shape and place it the areas what we need the embed. And if you have any conflict with the structure connections or other embeds, if you have it, then that's the question we have to ask. But always nice to check at the beginning so that we don't have to change the size or location of the embed later. Then number 5, create the new embed CAD file from existing embed detail. So we already have the existing CAD in the CAD standard library, so you can copy and modify it, change it. Make sure you have all CAD file with the parts number or details, and also the all necessary informations like fasteners or any plugs, or if you need it, maybe you can specify the field conditions, slab thickness or something, the concrete type, like a normal concrete or lightweight concrete. So then work with PM to provide all supporting document needed for structural review. After that, we send this information to engineer. They will review and get approval. Once the embed is approved by engineer, then send email to Esli with those all files, CAD file and any supporting document. If you have any email that has confirming information or any attachment, I always put that one within the email. And then I think Esli already mentioned that at the Zoom site meeting. So far, the email is the best tool because sometimes she got the request through the new family request portal, but that portal only allowed us to attach only one document. So she would like to use email as a current process. So send the email to Esli with the all supporting document. Then Team Esli actually create the embed file drawing and also CAD block and also CAD detail and Revit generic model with the data and also Revit 2D detail family. And then she actually add the new information to that page. So any new embed will be listed here too. Then since I'm subscribing this page, so when I got the notification from that wiki, then, okay, so I see we have a new one. So I'll create a new detail and then inform to you guys. That's the whole process. Any questions? I'm sorry, in addition to these, Eddie is making Swiss of the new embed process right now. So it will be published too soon. Any questions? All right, seems like we are fine.
Really quick, Yoriko, my stupid question.
Okay.
I know in CAD it have those blocks to change the embeds. Can this be done on Revit as well? You know how Esli made those.
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Okay, let's back to the embed fabrication here. So under the embed fabrication standard, you see the Revit family here. So then let's say FE21 is actually created as the tube embed family. So when you load the tube embed family from S drive, that family contains all tube embed which has tube embed families. So not only FE21. So she's adding the new embed with those families. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So always make sure here. So which family should load it. And then also guardrail tube embed too. So if you have multiple guardrail embed, you only have to load guardrail tube embed family only, and it has 25 different types inside. So you can pick or you can switch around inside the project. Make sense? If you don't have questions, actually we have 20 minutes earlier, but that's all my presentation today. Just, I don't know if they are here today, but to make that catalog, Salvador and also Janet helped me a lot. They are checking, creating details, clean up the old garbage stuff. So that's my special thanks to them. And then thank you for participating in today's class. Any questions? Steve and James? Sorry.
Go ahead, Steve.
Comes first.
Oh, you first, because my question's kind of long, so you first.
Oh, okay. So on corners or wherever we have like an embed that conflicts with steel columns, we're adding like a steel angle. I wasn't sure if you have any of those details in your library.
Not yet. Not yet.
Because there is a note like on this page, if you just kind of scroll up a little bit. Right here.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, is that kind of already built into these families? So if we do have an embed that collides, do we just select the embed and then just change it to, you know, an A of that type? That way it'll trigger our quantities.
So today, I don't think the 109A or 111A is part of the family. Family only contains 109 or 110. So I have to double check how we can put the tag, because I know that if between 101 only has 109 data. So then it's no capability to change the tag right now. So can I get back to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is an easy way to just add that A in there for both of those,
right.
Because we don't really need it to indicate, you know, the size of angle. We just need to kind of flag it like, oh, you know, 10 of these embeds require angles. That way, when the PM is, you know, ordering these parts, they could at least look at it like, hey, what are these things? And then they just order enough steel angles.
Right. And then, sorry, that kind of relates to James' question, because me and Ezri was kind of thinking maybe we can add the sample details at the corner condition, but actually that corner condition never been same, always different per the project, per the floors, per the steel conditions. So I don't think is any benefit if we add details, because still you guys have to modify it. But just a reference, do you think we need the detail?
Well, I think if we had a detail that, because on Michelle's job, we kind of identified, you know, quite a few areas that they collide, and we were able to kind of create this one detail, and then we just added a note where if the column was within, you know, an inch or whatever of this rebar, then just use this, you know, steel angle. But at least if we had a detail, then we could at least just do a slight modification to the detail.
Okay.
So we know kind of like what we're doing there.
Michelle, if you don't mind, can you send me like a PDF or just the information, which detail I should look at it?
Yeah, I'll send you one. I can probably do I already have CAD export, so I can just send that.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. Yeah. So then me and Ezra can take a look. Excellent. Steve?
So a couple things. So on this one, I thought we were just going to copy the FE109 and the FE110 and make an FE109A and FE110A. Is that what we're doing? Like, does the draftsman have the ability to drop in either embed at this point, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that is my question, because if I select the 109 to put the key tag, it only has 109. There's no way to put the 109A, even we copied, unless we create a new family.
You could copy, you duplicate type, and then you can rename the data. It's kind of an involved process though.
Right. But I'm not sure. That's why I said to James, I would like to double check with Emily. That's her intent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the family doesn't have to change. Just copy that family and call it a 109A, and copy the 110 and call it a 110A, because they don't need to be different. They just need a different number.
Numbers, right? Yeah. So I think that one works, but I still like to double check with Emily. That's the way she is mentioning here.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's really the flag for us to stop and figure out what we need to do.
Right. Because my concern is I have seen, like, let's say we have FE21, but they'd like to make it a little bit shorter, then copy, change the name, and modify it. And that one is actually new standard, new ended, but some PM just modify it with the existing one. So I don't want to let it happen. So.
If you ask Esli about this note, she might not know what you're talking about because I added this note, I think, maybe a couple months ago. But I wasn't really sure, how we're actually indicating the A part.
She was in that email loop, so.
Okay. So I don't want to give you the wrong information now, so let me double check what's her intent as a family team. Again, I agree with you, just the numbers. Data doesn't have to be changed.
Yeah, because I think that went through and it was, as it was on that email, so, okay, cool.
Okay.
So my question was, because I liked what you said, is that, when you first get your job, you may or may not know what embeds you're going to need. Like Jumpstart's going to give you sort of the basics, but there might be other conditions on your building that require something that they didn't think of. And they don't always look at the steel embeds. They usually look at the Hiltis, right? So hang on one second. So the question I have is, sorry, my dog wanted to come say hi. She gets mad when I close the door because she can't come bug me. So how do you, just curiosity, like the way you approach it, how do you look the job over to see the other, like what is your process that you go through to figure out what other embeds you might need? What do you normally do to look at the job and try to figure out, do I know all my embeds or don't I? You know what I mean?
Okay, what I usually do is maybe kind of dumb way, but I use the bluebeam session on the architecture drawing, and I just create the rectangle, the shape with the actual dimension embed size, and I start putting on the architecture drawings, and it makes sure I don't have any conflict with the structures, or maybe at the corner, or sometimes we have a curve, we have to move embed. It doesn't allow us to have two embeds, especially at the jam and doors. So that's how I always check at the beginning. And if I have a question, always back to the Jumpstart. Hey, I see a conflict here. You guys show this, but it doesn't work. What should I do? That's what I usually do. Yes.
Okay, cool. That's a good idea. And anybody else have any other techniques that they use for checking if they have all their embeds at the beginning? Because I think it's a good point. That's not always going to be clear. So knowing it early gives you a chance to let everybody in the system make the stuff they need to make and get it all to you. If you do the whole building and then you go to do your embed drawings and you find out you're missing an embed, now it's a rush because you need it to get your drawings done and everybody needs it to order it and everything else. So.
Right.
Cool. That's a good idea. I like that. Thank you.
Anything else? I have a question to Steve. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Bernese mountain dog.
Oh.
Big, like 85 pounds, like a big dog, but super lucky. She likes to come visit. So.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm a dog person, so.
Yeah, Damien's got a really cute dog. Did you see his dog?
The Beagle?
Yeah.
Yeah, cute.
Yeah, and I think Tony's got a corgi.
Yes. Nice. All right, so thank you so much, everybody. We are 10 minutes earlier, so I appreciate your cooperations. I took a notes about the homeworks. I tried to get back to you as soon as possible. But any questions or any requests or stuff I missed, I made a mistake, always feel free to shoot me email. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Yuriko.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rico. Bye.
Okay, bye.